What is going on, everybody? Chase Crawford back with another episode of According to the Internet, back from hiatus and also back from a long time in Michigan where I have been making a movie, and that is why there have been no episodes of the podcast. So welcome back. Here we are, hoping to do our thing again. Joined today by JHill, a.k.a. Hilliard,
I'm
a.k.a.
back.
the one and only.
What's up, man?
The chosen one. How are you, dog?
I'm all right, man. You know, having a heck of a morning, but that's not out of the ordinary. So it's good to be here.
Barber
back in the studio.
called, no showed on you.
Yeah, man. I don't want to shame him. I guess it's first world problems, right? But yeah, my barber. I set a 10 o'clock appointment this morning, and you know I was there, and I gave him 15 minutes, man. Like,
bro, you gave him 30 minutes. You texted me at 10:27.
Yeah, I gave him 20.
You were like, I'm out.
Well, I was already in the Uber when I text you, but like I gave him 20. I was like, all right, man, this is a wrap. I got too much to do today, so let him go. But you know, it's all good. I'll probably have to book him later. So.
Hey, so we kind of got to do a little speed up on what happened in the past month, almost 2 months since we've done an episode of this thing. I produced a film called Moondance out in Michigan. They call it Michiana out there. It's
really?
Like the southwest part of Michigan and the northern part of Indiana.
How much can you talk about it? Like, how much can you tell us about it?
So I produced the film. So pretty much I can set the limits on what I want to talk about. Uh-huh. I can go almost as in depth as you want to go about it. But I stayed in this little town called St. Joseph, beautiful town. It's like right on Lake Michigan. It's like I'm actually gonna go there to vacation probably. It's like super chill.
Mm. So yeah. I was like, or tell me like, aside from the experience, 'cause I know you said it was like tiring, but like a really super rewarding experience.
Yeah.
Tell us what the film is about, and then let's turn the tables, right?
Yeah.
Tell us what the film is about, and then tell us, kind of like, some of your greatest takeaways from recording and filming.
Yeah, so the film, it's a musical comedy. It's about a group of people from Michigan who come across this, he's like a recluse, he's like a composer, mm-hmm. And he falls in love with this dancer. So it's, it's a happy love story sometimes too. And it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot. I don't know where you want me to start with the list of things that I learned.
Give me your, I guess, your top takeaway, positive feels from it, right? And your top learning from it. And then, moving forward, maybe something you were like, this is definitely something I encountered, but I would handle differently in the future.
Mm-hmm. So I'd say my top takeaway from it is that movies are not easy to make. They've never been easy to make, and that's why everyone doesn't do them. Mm-hmm. And this one, it challenged me, and it challenged our crew, and it challenged our cast. But we did it. Like, at the end of the day, we did it. And, like, I'm so proud of that. Like, that's my ultimate feeling out of the whole experience is just I'm proud of what was made.
Yeah. I watched sorry to interrupt you, but I watched not a documentary, but a masterclass on Hans Zimmer and musical composing for films and stuff. And the one comment I remember him making about the movie and the composition process and working with the directors and producers and all that was that he said, once the schedule takes off from that first day, it's like
there's no going back.
There's no going back. The ball's just rolling down the hill, and you just got to keep up.
Yeah. I mean, there were some crazy things that we achieved that were like some super short notice things. Like, we found all these dancers to be in the scenes, like, literally a week before we needed them. Mm-hmm. Just like stuff continually happened that made me believe that the film was supposed to happen. The universe was going in our direction the entire film.
Yeah.
Like, locations were we'd have a location fall out, and then literally 2 hours later we'd have someone be like, oh yeah, you can shoot at my restaurant, or you can shoot at my house, or even we shut down the main street of this town called Three Rivers, And that all happened literally within 7 days of it shooting, because we were going to shoot that in downtown Kalamazoo. It just wasn't going to work out with the amount of construction that was going on. And we needed a main street setting for that. And they literally bent over backwards for us to do that.
I mean,
and
what's that process look like, man, to get a street shut down? Like,
we have to, so for that, you have to file permits. You have to give them all of your business information, all of your personal information. You have to write a request to the mayor. They go and they meet together with the fire chief and the police chief and the Michigan Department of Transportation. And they go over your request. They see if it's reasonable, if it's not, what the detours are going to look like, how you're going to give notice to the businesses there, how you're going to give notice to the residents there. That process falls on you to give notice to people, like the company. Yeah, ultimately we have to. Now the city did help us. They hung up a lot of stuff around the city and posted a lot on social media. But I went door to door on the businesses downtown and the residents downtown.
And so, without getting too much into detail, like, is there a fee you have to pay to those businesses, to the city?
Now it varies. So fortunately, with what we did with the city, where we shot it on a Sunday morning when businesses were already closed.
Oh, okay.
And, I feel like the city got a lot out of it too. They got some great media coverage and that type of deal. So as far as the financials go, I mean, we did have to cover, as far as like setting up the cones and helping cover those costs for off-duty police officers and that type of deal. That's like a cost that we were looking at. But as far as shutting down the street, we did it under a permit that you didn't have to pay any type of crazy cost for.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and they were really helpful about that with us, and they were just excited to have us there, which was really great because we were excited to be there as well. Now, as far as businesses go, that's where you can really get held up because, you get one business that's like, they're going to screw my business out. Like if say you did it on a weekday from like noon to 8 and you're screwing every single one of those businesses out of,
what they
business.
do. Yeah.
Then that's when you start to get pricey and have to negotiate like, okay, we'll give you $500 and then multiply that by however many businesses are on that street.
Mm-hmm.
And then once residents hear that you're handing out money, they're going to probably want some too if they live on that street that you're shutting down. So that's when it becomes a pain in the ass. But fortunately for us, it was a pretty smooth process. And like I said, the universe was working in our favor. Yeah, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun.
So when can we expect to premiere the video or be able to see it? Or
right now we're looking at like summer, fall. Just with our edit timeline and then looking at festivals that would be worth, premiering at. We're looking at like late summer, early fall. And then we'll do festivals probably for a couple months and then figure out what distribution we're going to go. Hopefully we figure out distribution before it even premieres. But, a lot of independent films kind of figure that out along the way. Then hopefully by next winter, we kind of have a finalized plan of what we're going to do and where it's going to be released and what day and the whole 9 yards.
Well, congratulations, man. It's a good accomplishment.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. And
finish out the year strong.
Yeah, finish out the year strong. I mean, the first film I produced, we just got a picture lock on that. We're figuring out where we're going to premiere it at. And then, we'll be able to announce where that's getting released and stuff here pretty soon, actually. So then the world can see that project. But yeah, man, it's sick, fun. Bro. I can't wait until all this stuff starts coming out and people start to see what you work on. That's the fun part.
That's the fun part, yeah. Every time you put out every time you put out a piece of music, letting people touch it and listen to it and make memories to it, that's always the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, it's exhausting. It's literally exhausting. I think day 10 or 11, I like literally was dry heaving and it's like every morning from just exhaustion.
Yeah.
Well, no, just dude, just exhaustion. Like I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping enough. I was just so focused on making sure that the ball didn't stop rolling downhill, right?
Yeah.
And like I don't regret it at all. It's so rewarding. It's so incredibly rewarding. Because it's, dude, when I told Sean this story earlier. When I was broke as shit I was 18 years old with a kid living in my in-laws' basement. I told my wife, I was like, yo, I'm gonna make movies. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. And like, looking back on it, it could have been like the cringiest, like every deadbeat baby daddy moment ever, where it's like, I'm gonna be a star. You watch, baby. I'm gonna be a star. And then like never pans out. And like, I don't know.
Bro, no.
That's why like it's just like, it's so rewarding just to be able to do what I
got there, man, because but that's the lesson, right? This is like when you get into the really good stuff, right? You said like two things. We'll get to the internet eventually, I guess, but this is an important message, like to kind of get out to the people. Like, you know, two things you said on one, you talked about how, you know, you have your past, right? And you had this moment of decision where either you were going to believe in yourself and back yourself and go for it, or you were going to live out the rest of your life wishing and wondering what life would have been if you did it. And now you're here. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, you talked about how like the universe responds. Like, I've been on I guess for a lot of my life, literally, one, believing in myself, like believing in my faith, and then acting on that is kind of like the only reason why I sit here and where I sit today. And I got a long way to go, but you know, a lot of people wake up every day and they go, wow, I mean, what would my life be like if I had tried this, or if I did this? Or people on their deathbeds being like, oh, like, you know, these were my regrets in life, that I didn't go for this and I didn't chase my true passions. Like, that's my biggest thing. If you talk to anybody around me, my friends, my family, people who I love, like, we have no time to waste, right? Every day is a blessing, but you have to believe in yourself enough to know I can do anything I put my mind to. Literally, it sounds so cliche, but you can, and you have to act on that and go for it. And it's not going to play out the way you think it's going to play out. It's going to be 10 times as hard as you could ever imagine. You're going to deal with 100,000 things that are going to try and derail you. But eventually, when you step in that passion, the same thing you were talking about, I just had this conversation with another producer where he's kind of like, man, this kind of sucks sometimes financially. You know, I don't know how I'm going to make my bills this month. And you have to reassure, like the best reassurance I can give to people is that it will work. When you step in your passion, it's not logical. You will not see how that money or that solution is going to come, but it comes out of nowhere. It blindsides you. And all of a sudden, the day before it was due or a day before you needed to get it in, it's all worked out. Yeah. So the universe literally responds to you if you go and do the things you're meant to do in the reason why you're put here.
Yeah. And my wife always says like the funniest stuff. She's now like coming to the conclusion that this is going to be our life forever. Like it's like the point of no return, which is funny. Like 3 years consistently working in film, like now is the point of no return. Yeah. And she just says, you know, I'm so proud of you because you said you were going to do this and this is what you're actually doing. Yeah. And like for so many people, not just me or not just anyone else, but for so many people in life, I feel like they almost lie to themselves. They say, I'm going to do this. And then they never do that. And the only person they let down is themselves. Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, dude, when I said that, I you bet on yourself, and like I would bet my last dollar on myself. Like I would go to the ends of whatever to make sure that I could, like, I don't know. I guess today if I decided I want to become a professional soccer player, if there was any realistic hope of that, like, yeah, you know, I feel like I would train every day and pursue that to the end of its route, and the end of its route will probably be very soon after I decide to start training. Right? Yeah, exactly.
But here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
But what a lot of people don't realize too sometimes is you might have this astronomical belief and dream, right? And you go to try and achieve that. And maybe that's not what you're set out to do. Maybe that's not what you're meant to do. And you see, when you have a gift, only you can bring that gift into this world, right? There is only one you. And if you don't bring that gift into this world, then the rest of the world suffers as a result. So,
man, that's deep.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. So you might not say, for example, you went out to go play soccer or set out to be this phenomenal soccer player, and you don't meet that accomplishment or that dream. Well, but along that path, you either inspired someone else along the way, or that path led you to another road that you now seek and go explore down that road, and eventually you land where you're supposed to be, right? So it never plays out how you think it's going to happen. It just doesn't. And a lot of people get wrapped up in this baseline happiness, right? Like you have a baseline happiness. Okay, like this morning, you saw me this morning, I was in a flurry, right?
Oh yeah.
But I have to take a step back and say, look, this is going on and this is going on. It's the balance. There's always something, to counter there's always something positive to counter the negative, and always something negative to counter the positive, right? That's how we stay in balance. You have to look around sometimes and stop and go, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm okay. It could be far worse. And reset that baseline happiness and keep moving forward. Can't get wrapped up in it. You know?
Yeah, man. But I don't know. I don't even know how to follow that up. I feel like in a lot of ways, my journey has just begun, dude. Life is so long, man. Like I could realistically, if I worked for 40 more years, I would be 62, which is realistic for a lot of people work until they're 65, right? Till they can get retirement. Dude, it makes me smile because this is literally just the beginning of it all.
Yeah.
And I hope that the memories are still as fresh 40 years from now as they are today, of all of the trials and tribulations that you go through. But anyways,
should we talk about the internet?
Yeah, let's talk about the internet. Let's catch people up on kind of what happened in the month since I left, and then we'll do our small town shout out and move into some current stuff.
All right.
So dude, there was a shooting in Cincinnati.
Oh wow, man. Have we been off the air that long?
Yes.
Wow.
So we're based in Cincinnati, and there was a shooting in Fountain Square. Yeah, dude, we've been off the air for a hot second. I woke up and that shit sent chills up my spine. I was like, dude,
yeah,
bro, because all of us eat breakfast down there. I was just so scared. And didn't Ed end up being he was down there eating breakfast that morning or something when it happened?
Eddie was down there. Yeah. Eddie, DJ E-Train. He was there. But I think when I, heard about that, first of all, let's talk about this. It's a tragedy.
Obviously,
it's terrible. Yeah. That should not happen. We're not going to get political, but, no matter how you feel about guns and gun control in the country, something has to be done in some sort of manner to sort of address what's happening. But then it hit close to home, right? It hits in Cincinnati, and you get that notification. You're up. I remember we stayed home. We were up just watching the news and trying to figure out what's going on. And then I watched the body cam footage from the police officers that took that guy down. Bruh, that's not you see the bravery, running towards bullets when most people are running away from bullets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, but what made me most upset, besides the loss of life, besides innocent people being injured, was that the coverage on it was a day. And that we've just become numb to the problem in America. And then it was just life is normal and we move on the next day and that's it. What? That day.
It puts it into perspective because a lot of cities go through that
all the time.
Exactly. Like now we feel how every other city feels when there's a shooting there, and then the next day no one's talking about it anymore.
It's my I recently, after when all that was happening, I got online and I watched. There's a YouTube video of President Obama coming out after every gun shooting and giving condolences and giving a speech after these shootings. And from the beginning, you watch his temperament from the beginning and towards the end. Like at the beginning, it's very much like our hearts and prayers go out to the families, and at the end, he's just like, "I'm out here again." When does it? When does it stop?
Yeah. Well, I guess I hope soon. I guess moving on to a lighter topic, Ariana Grande and Pete Davidson called off their engagement.
Look, from the beginning, okay, this is like the sound off board. You can just like run through the topics and I'm going to sound off in like 30 seconds. From the beginning, that came so fast, right? Like that you kind of got that sense that was like, they're in like the honeymoon phase. That honeymoon phase is going to drop soon. And then it dropped.
Did you hear? I'm not even going to get into rumors. Never mind.
But they got hopefully they learned something from it. Every relationship gives you something to love, to learn, some good memories. And
sometimes you just got to pump the brakes.
Yeah, that was fast.
Yeah, it sure was. Pete Davidson's a funny guy, though. I bet there will be some great SNL episodes.
He responded well to it.
There will be some great SNL episodes that come out of this, because he was very self-aware the whole time. He's like, he had this joke, and it went something along the lines of, you remember that whole city that pretended that the kid was Batman for the day?
No, I never saw it.
That's how he felt being engaged to Ariana Grande. There was like this kid dying of cancer, and everyone in the city pretended he was Batman for the day. And that's how really Pete Davidson felt being engaged to Ariana Grande. He was just waiting for it to be over. He felt like everyone was in on this spectacle, except him.
Well, that's a really interesting perspective. I mean, to like be in the relationship and also be outside of the relationship at one time, like that's.
But anywho, moving on to our small town shout out, and then we'll talk about some internet stuff.
I think this time we should give a small town shout out to the town you shot the movie in.
Oh man, we shot the movie in quite the number of towns.
Really?
I'll just go down the list.
What about the town you shut the street down in?
Oh man, shout out Three Rivers, Michigan.
So what's the population there?
Man, I'd have to guess like 2,000 people.
So should we look it up?
No, you got to guess too.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you were there, so like, okay, I'll counter you and go. I'll just double your estimate and go 4,000. No, that's pretty low. Yeah, I'd go $5,000.
Okay. Let's see. Oh wow, 7,691. It's the most recent population. So you were closer.
Yep.
Well, I quit. I'm gonna quit my own show. Jeremy can take over from here.
What's next? What we got?
All right.
What's on the internet?
According to the internet, and I know that you wanted to talk about this one, so it could be a very long episode.
Are we dropping this already first?
Dropping this first. Oh yeah. By the way, before we drop this bomb on you guys, we did an episode with Afro Man, and we're gonna release it as a bonus episode, I think.
Yeah.
Just wanted to let you know that you might get 2 notifications or something whenever we drop that, but. It was an episode. It was a fun episode.
Yeah, Afro Man was great, man. He was really funny. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I still have 1 can of Colt Fruity 5 left.
Yeah, I gave them to my little brother. They snapped them down, but yeah.
Good old malt liquor. That was actually a fun time. So that was just a little update. But according to the internet, Kanye West went to the White House to meet with Donald Trump, and Jeremy has some feelings about this. So
man,
I'm gonna step away from the mic for like 5 hours and let Jeremy just pour his heart into all of his anger.
All right, I just sat up straight. Okay, so everybody's been waiting on me to give this opinion on Kanye. Everybody's like,
everyone has been waiting. Literally, people have been waiting outside of our office. Like TMZ has been camped outside for weeks, waiting for Jeremy to give his opinion about this.
All my friends are like, "What's up? How do you feel about this, Kanye?" Because look at my phone background right now. Like,
His phone background is Kanye West.
It's the picture of the infamous picture of Kanye when he released the Life of Pablo and premiered it in Madison Square, and like all those shots were iconic. So let me start by saying that I've supported Kanye. Not that my opinion matters so much, but I've supported Kanye since day one, right? Like, I love Kanye West. He is a visionary. He is a genius. He is, a lot of times people don't understand him because he is just on a completely different level than a lot of people are. That's the reason we're talking about him right now. That's the reason he's been in culture for years, right? Like, as an artist. So how do I start this? When he took the meeting at the White House, that doesn't bother me. You know what I mean? Like, there could be, the only way we kind of move forward as a country, because of how polarized we are right now. You have black men and white cops. You know, you have either gay or not gay. You have women who support abortion or men who don't. Our country is so divided in so many ways socially. The only way to progress our country forward is to get people talking, right? So Kanye taking that meeting and talking with President Trump, like, I love that, right? Mm-hmm. You know, let's get down to some issues. Let's talk about some things that are affecting people every day.
So you love Trump? Is that what you said?
No, I don't.
Oh, wait, that's what I heard. Sorry, it was the selective hearing turnout. You said you're going to vote for Trump this year too, right?
So what I'm saying is,
in 2020 or whatever.
What I'm saying is that doesn't. No, I'm not.
I'm just trying to light the fire.
No, you're not going to light the. I'm not going to let the fire get lit this time, because truthfully, even in the past few months, my eyes have been open to some things, right? For example, I used to very much be a liberal that was like, if you support Trump, how could you?
I recall very clearly the first episode of this podcast, you saying, fuck Trump.
Right.
So you were a liberal 3 months ago.
I'm still a liberal.
Okay.
But what I'm saying,
you said you used to be a liberal.
No, I used to be a liberal. So let me finish the sentence. Here you go.
Okay.
So I used to be a liberal that believed I used to ask myself all the time to some of my friends, how could you support Donald Trump? Right? Like, we're all millennials. We all, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Generally all liberals. A lot of my friends, we all went to Miami University, a very liberal school.
You think Miami University is a liberal school?
In the curriculum and standards that they make you take before you leave.
Oh, so liberal as in liberal arts. I was about to say.
Like, in the curriculum.
Miami University is probably the furthest right-leaning.
Very much so now, yeah.
Demographic school in the state.
Love and honor, but yeah, it's
I love how you just tried to save it with love and honor.
Love and honor, but like, yeah, definitely. But I used to my point in saying that was I used to just be like, look, how could you support Trump? But there are a lot of Republicans, and I hate the whole Republican Democrat thing, but there are a lot of Republicans who I interact with daily.
Of course.
Who are amazing people. And before, all this political drama has really before it kind of spilled everywhere, mm-hmm. Including into the workplace or including in the friend groups, you didn't care, if someone was a Democrat or a Republican, you just cared about how you and that person interacted every day and, mm-hmm. That they were a good person. And I work with a lot of good people who are Republicans. I interact with people who are Republicans every day. So that has been an eye-opening thing for me to say, no, let's just talk and hear people out and understand why they believe and think the way they think. That's the basis of our country, right? Mm-hmm. So to wrap this all back together, mm-hmm. Kanye West going to the White House, I think that's a really good thing. Do I love how I think Kanye has been in such a place for so long where he is trying to achieve, his intent is good, right? If you listen to a lot of what Kanye is saying, even when like talking about the 13th Amendment, in a around the corner way, it makes sense. He is not far off.
I love the around the corner analogy.
Because a lot of people you can't track Kanye's mind,
Yeah.
right? Like he's got so, I could literally watching him in the Oval Office, I related to him on so many levels because he had so much he was trying to get out that has been bottled up that he could not, get out. And he's trying to get this out because he just wants to further the human race to a better place. That's I can tell you that's Kanye's goal, right? He's always been that way. I don't know that because of all that he has gone through in the past few years, or maybe the amount of, not necessarily the amount of stress he's currently under, but the overwhelming need to get what he has inside of him as a creative out into the world on a level that many of us don't understand. I think that he is more or less desperate to get that out, desperate for power in a sense. And that, I think, was very reflective in the way he was interacting with the president and how he presented himself and how he talked during that meeting. And I don't think that was, it's what happened, so we can't change it, but I wish that could have gone a little differently.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think that was the best way I can put that. But then, like, you see these videos of Kanye, like, talking about different things, like energy and all this stuff, where people are just like, Kanye's crazy. I'm like, no, you just don't get it. Like, once you've experienced certain things, then you understand that, no, Kanye is not crazy by any means.
Mm-hmm. Do you think any of this has to play? I've seen a few different conspiracies, so I'm just going to bounce them off of you. Do you think any of this has to play with Obama calling him a jackass?
I wasn't aware that Obama called him a jackass.
I'm almost 110% positive that happened. Because I read this conspiracy that Kanye's just happy that a president cares about him.
No. So, I mean, before you, I wouldn't even waste your time looking that up. So,
hold on. President Obama calling Kanye West a jackass, actual video.
He seems like a perfectly nice person. She's getting her award. What's he doing up there? He's a jackass.
You talking about Kanye?
Yeah. Because he interrupted Taylor Swift getting her award, and that was his reaction. He said that Kanye was a jackass.
Well, I don't think Kanye.
Okay, so how would it feel to you? You're the most popular artist to ever come out of Cincinnati, and there's a president that comes out of Cincinnati, and then he calls you a jackass on the national news.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I would also like. Here's another thing.
But he's such an egomaniac that he wouldn't, like, you can't just drop that.
How could you not be an egomaniac being where Kanye West has been?
It's a marketing thing for him too, dude.
Okay, so part of this whole game though, right, as an artist, right? Part of this whole game is fake it till you make it, number one. Number two, you have to have some sort of ego and some sort of, honestly, detachment from reality, because what you're trying to get to is not a... Okay, here's the best way I can put it. I had a mentor once that told me, Jeremy, what you expect out of your life is not realistic. Or it's not, what was the word? What's the word, Chase? It's not realistic.
It's not feasible?
No, it might be realistic. So he told me that you had to put in an unrealistic amount of effort to get what you want.
Of course.
Okay. So then here's the thing with that. Now relate that to Kanye West.
Mm-hmm. Kanye
West lives a life that a lot of us don't lead, may never lead. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is almost like he lives in a fairy tale.
Yeah.
Right? Like to have that much attention on you constantly, to do what he has done, to impact that many people, So I think you have to have a level. So let me relate it.
No,
you have to have a level of ego and just unrealistic behavior and thinking in general, and think that way for years in order to get there and maintain and continue to do what you're doing.
I think that there's two sides of the spectrum, right? And they're polar opposites, which is why I think it plays into it so well. There's people who think Trump is a genius. There's people who think Trump is an idiot. There's people who think Kanye is a genius. There's people who think Kanye's an idiot. No one thinks really in the middle.
I fly in the middle on all of it.
You think?
Yeah, because
I think a lot of people, I think if you were to ask, even in this office, I think people would say one way or the other. They wouldn't say, he's somewhere, he's average. He's somewhere in the middle.
So Trump is not an idiot.
Okay.
Trump is not a genius.
Okay.
Trump had an amazing political team that, sometimes maybe bent the law. And also, when you're looking at the Facebook scandal and all this data, all these data issues, you could see where his team did amazing things to get him elected. No one can refute that. Okay. Do I think Trump is an amazing businessman? Absolutely. I don't think he is cut in all corners to be the leader of the free world.
Of course not. But
now,
same.
Now on Kanye.
Okay.
Let me get over to Kanye now. Kanye is a genius and a visionary in music.
False.
No way.
Fashion. He built $1 billion brand.
Absolutely. No.
Okay.
Absolutely. Both.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Don't forget about that. I think
yes, and I forget about that. Yeah.
In a lot of aspects, I think him building $1 billion clothing
$1 billion brand, right? Yeah.
Him building $1 billion brand is almost, I think it's almost more of an achievement than winning 21 Grammys.
Winning 21 Grammys though. Like this is Kanye West. So watch this. I also would not see Kanye West as our president. Right. So look at Kanye West and Trump, right?
Yeah.
Trump did all these amazing things in the business world, right? Kanye West did all these amazing things in the business world, in the music and the fashion pop culture world. I don't think Trump is fit to be president. I don't think Kanye is fit to be president, right? Like, so I fly the middle on these guys.
What do you think about the stuff of him saying he's off the pills now?
Who Kanye?
Yeah.
So I think the backlash came from he didn't want to be. So the backlash was in the public eye. Oh, well, he's saying, he never had a mental, I don't like the word mental disorder or
mental disorder, mental breakdown,
mental illness. Okay, let's go. So he's saying he never had, I think that was like almost like a slap in the face to people who deal with this every day, right? Deal with being bipolar every day or deal with depression every day. They're going, oh, we had an advocate and someone who was very real and saying like, oh yeah, I did do this. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, actually, I'm not, like there was something wrong with it, but who knows the answer to that, right? Kanye West could be bipolar or have some sort of different mental illnesses. I hate the word mental illnesses because I genuinely believe like, is there real, like there's mental illness, but like, does that just help define you as a human being and define your existence and help get you to where you are? Like, for example, and I say this to say like for a very long time, I was, a lot of people who are very close to me or a small handful of people who are very close to me know that when I left Australia a couple years ago and came back home, I went through a severe depression. I mean, that lasted for almost 2 years. Anxiety, I mean, literally body crippling anxiety where it was hard to get out of my bed most mornings, but I had to push myself through that. So like, I think that's the, perspective people are coming from and saying like, oh, well, here's someone who has gone through that or I can relate to them a certain way. And now all of a sudden he's back, he's walking back that comment. And I think that's where people kind of caught offense. But in the reality, we just don't know if Kanye West is bipolar or if he's not. And if he was, does it really matter?
Man, I don't know. I think, when I left this, I recall saying I don't want to talk about Trump anymore. And this is kind of reminding me why. Don't you feel like the same shit just gets rehashed all the time? I feel like it's one-dimensional still.
I think the change, like I said, that I touched on earlier, was that the most important thing is we have to come together and literally understand one another. And I also used to make an assumption that if, like a lot of liberals or Democrats, my friends who I've talked to, when they vote for the country, and they vote for the well-being of as many people as possible.
Okay.
Some other people, and that's not to say it. Okay, and I'm going to walk that back and just say some people could vote for the country. Some people vote for themselves, right? And so then you immediately go, well, that's selfish, right? But you don't understand what they may be dealing with. And at the end of the day, you have to feed your own mouth and water your own mouth and your child or your family before you worry about someone else's. So it's understanding, like, the same way, you go to all through college, they drill diversity and they drill understanding other people. And, one thing we learned in college was the platinum rule. It's not treating people how you want to be treated, but it's treating people how they want to be treated, right? All through college, you're drilled with this stuff.
Jeez, yeah.
But then you have to actually come out and apply it in real world circumstance. So the point in me saying all that is to say, don't let this political situation and media and, certain circumstances, I guess, divide you from genuine relationships that you've built or that you have or that you could build in the future with everyday people walking everyday life. Because at the end of the day, we all want the same things. You know what I mean? We all want love. We all want happiness. We all want prosperity. Today I sat, while I was waiting, my barber was late for those 20 minutes, but I sat on a bench.
He was late. He didn't come at all, Jeremy.
I'm sure he's there now. But I sat on a bench and I literally said hi to every single person that walked past me. Black, white, cops, drug addicts. Like, I just made it a point to say hi to everyone, because if I can touch those 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people in that 30 minutes and change their perspective that they might have seen on the news last night or something, then that's at least me touching someone in that way that day.
Jeremy Hill, all about touching people.
We'll put in a round of applause.
Yeah.
Sound later.
Jeez. Man. Yeah, man.
So no, Chase, the conversation's not the same anymore.
No. I agree. Talking about politics just like changes my whole like mood. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%, yeah.
Hold on. Can I tell you about my night last night? Because I forgot to do this at the beginning of the episode.
All right.
So I went to, so being away from home for so long, I don't know. I just wanted to be around my family for a hot second. Just
like sleep in your own bed.
Hang out with my girls. Yeah, exactly. Sleep in my own bed. Like, I wanted to see my parents. Like, and my parents live far away now.
Shout out Miss Willoughby Crawford.
Yeah, shout out my mom who taught you in high school.
She was great.
Yeah, she's but like both of my parents live hundreds of miles away now, so it's like harder to see them. And like, it's just like they both came into town like without me even asking. Like, for my sister's birthday, I got to see them and be around my family and stuff. And like I don't know, you just realize like that's like what you need as a human sometimes, just to be around like what you're used to. But anyways, circling all of that back, like being back in town has been like awesome, because now I just get to be back in town, like where I'm used to being. Yeah. And I went to go see my alma mater, Monroe High School, play. They're playing in the playoffs now for soccer, right? So I played Monroe. I played soccer in high school, and like all the coaches are the same, and it's fun. And they won last night. I want to give a shout out. They won in overtime on a golden goal. And
what's a golden goal?
So golden goal is in overtime. If you score a goal, that's just the end of the game.
Oh, really?
So it's like they ran off the field and celebrating that. It was crazy. It was awesome, and it was fun to be there. They upset Roger Bacon. It was a lot of fun. I think they play this Thursday. I think they play somewhere up in Dayton. I can't go to that one, but it was dope. I just want to say congratulations to those boys, man.
Yeah, shout out.
Because I remember my whole high school like playing days like it was yesterday, which to a lot of people it was pretty close to yesterday. Yeah. But to me it feels like light years away. Like, I think I'm coming up on 5 years being out of high school.
Only 5?
Yeah.
I think I'm like 10 years out of high school.
I'm 22.
Oh yeah, I'm 27.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just cool to go back and see everyone, and especially see everyone do well. So I wanted to give a shout out to them. Don't know where exactly I was going with that in politics, but circling
just
back.
happy to be home. Yeah.
Yeah. My mood was happy when I'm around my family, when I'm like able to hang out with friends and spend time. Like I'm going to Denver in a couple weeks.
Yeah, that'll be tight.
Dude, just gonna go ski, just gonna go see some sports games. Going like we do it, like we try
I got
to.
some friends heading out to Denver. I'll connect.
Really? Yeah.
I'll connect you.
But we, you know, me and my friends, since we all moved away from each other and like are moving upwards and onwards in life, like we try to maintain like 1 week in a year to do a guys trip. We went to Florida last year. It was super fun. Like we're going to Denver this year. It's gonna be a blast. Like, and like I realistically don't know how long that's gonna maintain, right? Because we're all like 2 of them are engaged now, and like I'm married and have a kid, so it's already tough for me to get away for any amount of time.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. Hopefully it's one of those things that like holds out until like, you know, 30s or 40s, and like
you can keep it going every year.
This is a reunion. But like some of those suckers, they might not start popping them out until they're, you know, 30, 35. I'm gonna be sending kids off to college and they're gonna be getting them out of diapers.
You got a head start, dog.
Yeah, that's the way I look at it now. Is I'm gonna be an empty nester by 36.
Yeah.
And then after that, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life.
You jump back in.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I disagree. I'm not gonna jump back in.
That's
like,
the one thing that terrifies me, man, is having children. Like I commend like a lot of my, you know, okay, not a lot, but some of my closest friends have children, and I'm looking at them like, how?
Oh yeah, we got the dad club in the office.
Yeah, how do you do it? I'm just like, I won't even hold a baby if it can't hold its neck. Like if it can't hold its own neck,
if it can't support its neck,
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best, because then you get to nuzzle them right into your arms.
I can't, man. That scares me to death.
I love babies.
At my goddaughter's christening,
that sounds like some rich people shit right there. That sentence right there. And my goddaughter's christening?
Yeah, my goddaughter's christening, they, like, my brother-in-law and my sister had to force me to hold her. I love her to death now. But they had literally forced me to hold her because I just was not comfortable doing it. And then she knew I wasn't comfortable. So then she starts, like, squirming and crying. And I was like, take her back. I don't want to drop her. Dude, you ever heard a baby get dropped, Chase?
No.
I have. And it changes you forever. And you never want to hear it and see it ever again.
I just envision that happening and I don't want to hear it.
I was in church one time and it happened. And from then on out, I just would not hold babies.
Oh, Lord.
I think I've gotten better. I think I've gotten better now. I'm 27. Dude, just like swift change of subject really quickly though. What about this lottery, bro?
Yeah, are you buying tickets?
Bro, I've been buying tickets. I've been buying tickets since last week.
Dude, I dropped in the work chat and no one wanted to go in on a pool with me.
Why go in on a pool where you can just buy it yourself?
Bro, because, okay, if you give me $20, I put in $20 and 20 people put in $20, then suddenly we have 400 numbers to win.
Listen, okay.
No, you listen to me.
Listen.
You listen to me.
Statistically.
You listen to me. Okay, if you win and you get $900 million and you divide that among 40 people, like the 900 million flat sum payout, 900 divided by 40 is $22.5 million. Can you live on $22.5 million for the rest of your life, Jeremy?
Yes, Chase. But listen, what I'm saying is,
so then why be selfish? Why not?
Hold on.
Why give yourself a one? If you buy 20 numbers, why give yourself a 1 in 20 odds of winning when you could have a 1 in 400 odds of winning and you could still live the rest of your life off that money?
Okay, great point taken. Agreed.
Because all y'all suck. Okay. That's why all y'all suck.
Agreed. So listen, no, if I got filthy rich, like I would do so much good.
Oh, you world. Toss me ridiculous. A bone, wouldn't you, buddy?
Listen, of course we'd be great. But no. Here's the thing. I guess there's got to be some statistical theory somewhere, but because obviously baseline knowledge, the more tickets and more entries you have in the pool, the more likely you are to win. I forget the current odds of winning the lottery. Can we look that up? What are the current odds of winning the lottery?
1 in 3.
1 in a billion or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, hold on, let's look it up. My theory is it's casting a shadow. Sorry, anybody who knows YouTube's gonna laugh at that. But it was one of the first viral videos. Leprechaun in Mobile, Alabama. Anyway, my theory is, listen,
1 in 292 million.
1 in 292 million. Mm-hmm. Your chances of winning that are so astronomically low. I think that the difference between 1 and 400 entries is so negligible that you might as well just buy one entry. There's got to be, I guarantee you there's some, call me out, but there's got to be some statistics theory.
I think so many people are going to call you out. Do you realize how ridiculous that sounds?
I know it sounds
The difference between 1 and 400, none. You said it's so slightly negligible.
I think it's negligible that it doesn't matter whether you have 1 or whether you have 400. I think you have to probably buy so many for it to become statistically powerful and enough to win that lottery. But again, it goes completely against everything that I kind of believe.
And at what point, like, you can buy 1 million numbers for $2 million. So that gives you, like...
Well, here's the question I asked myself the other night. I went, why isn't there some business that just literally goes and somehow collects money from millions of people and just...
if it's a 1 in 292 million like chance of winning.
So get 3 million people.
No. If you spend $100 million on tickets, then that gives you 200. Wait, no, that number's wrong. What is it? It's one number is $2. So if you spend $200 million, you get 1 million tickets, right? If the payout's 900 million, then you have a 1/3. Like you literally have a 1/3 chance of winning.
Yeah, so we need to get some, we need to like, we're gonna have, let's get some math checking.
Yeah, let's get a fun.
Let's get a math checking and get like.
Yo, I need $200 million. Who's got it?
What we need to do.
Okay.
No one in the office got you. What we need to do is actually figure this out because one, why isn't there an app or something that crowdsources all of the lottery? And then just like literally everybody buys in.
The lottery would shut down and it wouldn't be fun anymore.
Should we be putting this out on the podcast right now? Like, or should we just go build this? Scott Stubblebine, if you're listening, we need to put together an app.
I hope that one guy that you just randomly shouted out is listening.
I hope he is. If we need to put together an app where everybody just buys into the lottery and all the money gets bought into the lottery and then everybody just gets paid out that money. Like we would disrupt the lottery, or there needs to be a company that doesn't take in any money from anyone, just goes and like buys lottery tickets, and then just like, bruh,
I'm just imagining founding a company, and our tagline is, "We are here to disrupt the lottery." You know, the thing that funds schools and gives veterans hope to live.
No, we don't.
Helps veterans and homeless. You didn't know
you still get taxed.
I know, but you didn't know the money from the lottery goes to like actually help things. It's a state thing.
I just thought it was like
it's a division of the state government.
They still get the money. They're not getting the money. They're just taking the winnings.
Yeah, exactly. Dude, this Powerball is gonna be.
What is it at now? It's got to be past $2 million.
No, it's 1.6
I thought it was 1.6 billion last week.
No, it's this week.
That's what it is.
It's tonight.
Oh, wow. Guys, get out there and get your tickets.
I know. Well, we're going to go to Drunken Tacos after this, and I got to get some tickets.
Yeah, we'll get some tickets.
It's Taco Tuesday, my guy. All right, let's wrap it up with some... Oh, wait, meme of the day. My wife's going to kill me if I don't read her meme. It was very funny this week, and we will have our meme of the week presented by my wife. So she sent me this meme, and I actually had it saved in my phone to send to her when I had a second, because we're just...
meme.
Oh, yeah, it's a great meme. So it's a 3D pyramid. At the bottom, it says high school diploma, and a level above that says associate's degree. Level above that says bachelor's degree. Level above that says master's degree. Level above that says PhD. And at the very tip top of this pyramid, it says anti-vax mom who ignores the entire medical community and instead gets her health information from random websites.
Like WebMD.
Vaccinate your children, please.
WebMD tells you if you go look up anything on WebMD, you have like cancer or AIDS.
For the love of God, vaccinate your children. Like,
all my friends will tell you I've been on WebMD way too much in my life.
Jeremy, do you think people should vaccinate their children, or are you with these anti-vaxxers? Are you with the liberal anti-vaxxers?
I don't know enough information, but I was vaccinated. So
I was vaccinated and I turned out okay. So
I'm fine.
You know, I'm thinking about just going to go ahead and vaccinate my children as well.
But at the end but look, you got to do your. I think what's the lesson, Chase? Right? It's not. Look, we just talked about this. Apply our political conversation to the vaccination conversation. Go educate yourself.
Look. There's no reaching the anti-vax community. They're already so lost in a hole that you cannot save them.
Go research it and decide for yourself.
Stop,
bruh.
Stop.
Okay.
No.
Okay,
you
Chase.
need to vaccinate your children.
Guys, vaccinate your kids.
You don't have children, so you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't. Look, what I'm saying is...
herd immunity is a real thing.
What I'm saying is, I don't know enough to comment on anything.
No, don't research it yourself. Listen to doctors who've gone to school for this shit and vaccinate your children. Don't go... You just ruined the meme. Because the meme was making fun of people who find their health information on random websites.
Go vaccinate your kids. Listen.
Thank you.
What I'm saying is this, Chase. There's things like this all day in our go look up, processed meats or something, right? Like there's something out, there's a documentary or something on Netflix that talks about the food industry, it might be Food Inc., and how a lot of processed meats or some chemicals they use or something along the lines of that are level 1 carcinogens. And this is like a known fact.
Is that what makes Taco Bell taste so good?
No, but this is like a known fact by scientists or something along those lines, right? I'm not giving it to you completely right, but it doesn't get publicized.
I'm giving you information, but it's not totally right. So
it just doesn't get publicized heavily. So my point is that there's some things you kind of got to go research. Like if you think so badly that vaccines are so bad, then make your choice. That's why we live in America. I mean, I'll probably vaccinate my kids, but
No, you will vaccinate your children, Jeremy.
Maybe by the time I have kids, there won't be a need for vaccinations. We would have solved everything.
No, it's impossible to solve everything when you have a group of idiots running around saying, I'm not going to vaccinate my kids.
Well, what's more important is that we're going to wrap up, but...
No. This is my show. We still have things to talk about. That's just our second segment. All right.
You want to hit?
No. I just want to go through the current stuff and you get 30 seconds for a hot take.
Okay.
Amy Schumer's pregnant.
Is she the girl in Parks and Rec?
No, that's Amy Poehler. Amy Schumer is the comedian.
I am the worst with names. Amy Schumer. Well, congratulations. I hope you have blessings to your beautiful child. What's this supposed to be a big deal for?
I don't know. She is apparently a big deal. It was trending on Twitter yesterday.
Congratulations.
Cool. Amari Cooper was traded to the Cowboys for a first-round pick, and the Raiders now have 3 first-round picks.
I don't really know a lot about sports.
Okay, and the Reds got a new manager.
Hey, that's awesome. Congratulations. Who was it? Do you know?
David Bell.
I heard Eddie listening to that yesterday, but yeah, that's awesome. Congratulations, Reds.
Not really. Worst hire in Reds managerial history.
I don't know enough
Dude
about
has a
sports.
career losing record in the minor leagues. Why is he
We need to ask someone who knows.
We need Joe Girardi.
We need to ask someone who knows about sports.
We need I know about sports. We needed Joe Girardi. And the Reds are cheaping out. Anyways, that's going to be all. Make sure that you follow the podcast on Instagram at The Internet Podcast. And
that page is up. That's sick. I'll let them know about the other news.
Oh, yeah. The other news, the iHeartRadio thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got picked up by iHeartRadio. So you may hear us on a radio station near you soon. You can stream us on the iHeartRadio app. And Jeremy, where can people find you at if they want to stalk you and shit?
Yeah, we never did this on the first one. So you can find me at I am Hilliard on IG. And that's where it's most popping. Also on Spotify, Apple Music. Pretend's up there right now, starting to get a little heat. So go listen to Pretend on Spotify and be on the lookout in the next few weeks for some new music popping out.
Word. Anything else you want to add?
I love you, Chase.
I love you too. And don't drink milk straight out of the cow's titty.